You will always lose one game in Accumulator because of one single reason. You blame the bad luck or you think the games are fixed to make you lose, but it's nothing like that. You really want to know the main reason for this? Well, the answer is pretty simple and even boring. There is literally a scientific explanation for this, which I'll tell you about in a moment. But it's important to mention that often the problem isn't so much losing a game, but that when it happens, it generates so much anger and helplessness in us that we remember it every day as if it was a punishment from God. It gets imprinted in our brain and it affects us badly mentally, especially when it's with overlay, and it is. Realistically though, doing combinations of 3 or more selections increases the chances of this happening repeatedly, and you will see it with a simple experiment. In the description of the video you will see a link to the jadewood.com site. Going into the site and pasting the code, underneath you will see a blue execute button, which every time you press it, it shows 4 lines. For each line there are 2 options, falada and acertada, which in Catalan means failure and success. What this code does is generate a random number between 0 and 1 4 times. It has 50% chance of giving 0 and 50% chance of giving 1 each line. If it gives 0, it's a success and 1 is a failure. There will always be some different combination of the 4 lines, and extremely rarely you will see only success or only failure on all 4 lines. Now you understand, right? Actually, with other code I was able to run 10,000 4-choice combinations in a similar manner, and of them 2,479 failed, which is almost 25% or 1 in 4 on average. It actually happens a lot more than you think. Miguel Figueres is the CEO of Winner Odds. In the description of the video you will see an Excel file that explains very well the probability of failure of X number of bets in combinations. According to Figueres' calculations, we can refer the following formula. Success rate, which appears as probability of success, is equal to 1 plus yield slash 100 slash the odds. Depending on the number of the bets in combination, the probability of failure is calculated as 0, 1, 2 and so on. By downloading the Excel file, you can change the data in the upper left corner so that the data in the odds table also changes. What you can change are the odds, yield or profit, and the success rate. The columns show the number of games in a column and the rows show the number of games lost. Combining the two gives us percentage of X games lost in a bet with Y number of games. Before we continue, if you want to start making money from betting every month, get our free subscription with the link from the description. Now going back, as you can see from the picture, we take the most common odds per slip, namely 2, a success rate above the average of 52.5% and a yield of 5%, which is even higher for bettors. As you can see on the table, if we have 2 matches in a column, the chance to lose 1 bet is almost 50%. If we have 3 matches in a column, the chance to lose 1 match is 39%. The more the bets grow in a number, the higher the chance of losing 1 match unless you reduce the odds. If we play about 1.50 odds with a 59% win rate, most often combinations between 3 and 5 bets will have a failure on one of these bets. This is exactly why it seems like we get away with 1 bet every time. Of course, in practice this is not always the case, but it is quite likely. It's just the statistics and the math. So realistically, relatively simple mathematical model, it shows that no matter how many times you generate different combinations, there will almost always be one different from the others. That is, you will almost always have at least one losing bet. So some people will say, okay, but I play pretty low odds, or I play 2 or 3 games in a slip and still don't win. For the first one, you may be playing a low odds, but that doesn't in any way refute what I've been telling you so far. Low odds are set by the bookies, but there are human beings on the field and there are multiple factors that more than few times are key to totally changing the odds given prior to the event. As for the second one, if you play 2 or 3 games in a slip, you will certainly in the long run be at a smaller loss or even a profit, and certainly less likely to lose 1 game than if you play more bets at higher odds. In conclusion, the most important thing to remember from the video is that the more selections you include in your bet, the more likely you are to fail. This is pure statistics or math. In betting, forget quick and easy wins. When you have them, they are just gambling. You should forget about emotions if you want to be successful.